Welcome back to Math Mini Lessons. In this lesson, we're going to continue looking at two-step word problems and solving two-step word problems with grouping. So as I work through the problems, look to see how I demonstrate these four things: identifying the unknown, differentiating between sharing and creating multiples, how I represent it visually, and how I use solve to solve for that unknown quantity. So here's our first problem for today. A bakery prepares 96 donuts and packs them equally into 12 boxes. Each box is then sold for $10. How much money does the bakery make in total? So we'll start by studying the problem, and this is the important information that I've picked out. That we have 96 donuts, they're packed equally in 12 boxes, each box sells for $10, and our role in the problem is to figure out how much money the bakery makes. So that's what we're going to be doing. That is our goal. So let's take our important information, the 96 donuts, packed in 12 boxes, and sells for $10 each. We're going to create a plan for this. We're going to line up a plan, but we need to think about the relationship between those three values. So we have the 96 donuts, 12 boxes, $10, and I have to think what's happening between those parts. How do I get to the part where they sell for $10 that will help me figure out how much they sell in all? Well, I know that the 96 donuts are equally packed into 12 boxes. So I know that this means they're being divided. And I know that once I do that part, 96 divided by 12, I can figure out how many boxes that is and then sell each box for $10. And that's multiplication. So my plan is to do 96 divided by 12. That will tell me how many boxes I have, and then multiply each box by 10 to find out how much money they have. Hit pause and jot this down into your notes. Now that we have our plan, we can verify it. Just put it into action to get to our answer. So the first part is easy. I can solve that. 96 divided by 12 using my fact families is 8. So you could use your multiplication table if you need to. Now I can do the next part. If I know I have 8 boxes, I can multiply those 8 boxes times 10 to figure out how much money that is. $80. So my final answer to explain what does that 80 mean? The bakery makes $80. So just so I could add a few in there so you can see, the first part told me the number of boxes, and the second part told me the amount of money. But my plan is nice and easy enough to follow, and that's really important with word problems. So not only can you follow your thinking, but you can communicate it with others and they can follow along with your thinking on the page. All right, let's hit pause and jot this down into our notes. Now it's your turn. You're going to hit pause and read this problem for yourselves. And then you're going to try and answer the question, how many balloons are needed? Think of it like a story and add visuals that might really help as well. Then play the video so I'll show you the solution and a possible way to answer it. Okay, let's show the answer. Before that, here's the important information you probably highlighted. So you should have gotten that there are 90 pieces of candy going into bags. There's 6 pieces of candy paired with 2 balloons. And our big question was how many balloons are needed. That's the question we're answering. And our solution is the party needs 30 balloons. So let's walk through this again like it's a story. If you had 30, you can stop the video here and I'll see you in the next lesson. But if you didn't, let's try and figure out where there was a difference. So in my story, I know I have 3 different pieces of information. I have a 90, I have a 6, and I have a 2. And I'm supposed to do something with all these numbers in the story. So remember, story matters because they give context to these numbers. So we're going to start with how the 90 and the 6 are related. Well, I have 90 pieces of candy. And remember, he's sharing 6 candies into bags. So he's repeatedly taking some candy, he's putting 6 in a bag, taking in 6 more pieces of candy and putting in a bag, and he's doing this again and again until he runs out of candy. What operation is that? So my 90, is it getting bigger or smaller? First, make that prediction. Well, my candy is getting smaller because I'm taking it and sharing it with everyone else. And because I'm sharing equally, this is division. So that's the first part of this problem, and the visualizing helps. So my 90 pieces of candy, I'm dividing it into groups of 6, putting 6 pieces in every bag. So now how is this connected to the 2? Well, this is going to tell me the first part, the 90 divided by 6, that's going to tell me how many bags I have. With every bag that has candy inside, I'm going to hang 2 balloons. So every single time I have a bag of candy, it has 6 pieces of candy inside. And I'm going to put 2 balloons. So every bag gets 2 balloons. So every time, is my 2 going to get bigger or smaller? My balloons. It's going to grow because every bag has 2 balloons. So that's multiplication. Why is it not just adding? Because every single bag gets 2 balloons. It's equally. So I'm going to multiply that. And that's how we're going to figure out our number. So those are the 2 steps that we're going to use. We're going to divide 90 by 6 first. And then once we have that number, that's going to tell us how many bags we have. Then we're going to multiply it by 2. So the first thing, look to see that you had these operations in your problem. And you may have said divide by 6 first and then multiply by 2. I'm just writing it in one number sentence. So if you don't have it as one number sentence, add it in there right now. All right, so we're going to start the first part. 90 divided by 6. That's not mental math right now, so we're going to use our long division. And this might be another place where kids make mistakes. So I'm going to use my division steps. And I'm going to put them on the side so we always remember. It's divide, multiply, subtract, and bring it down. So first I'm going to divide 9 by 6. Only 1. And now we're going to multiply these 2 numbers. 1 times 6 is 6. Subtract gives me 3. And then we bring down the 0. And then we do it again. 30 divided by 6. That's 5. That's a math fact. And 5 times 6 is 30. Subtract, bring it down. So it's always these steps. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring it down. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring it down. It keeps going right there into that beat until we have nothing left. So for the first part, you should have gotten 90 divided by 6 is 15. And now we can do the next part. 15 times 2. So we did this part, so now you're putting that number times 2. And that is where we got 30. So it could be that you had a problem with multiplication, that you made a mistake somewhere. I don't care what method of multiplication you use. If you use lattice, if you break it apart, if you use repeated addition, the final answer should have been 30. So some kids sometimes put 2 groups of 15 and add them up and go 15 plus 15 is 30. You could have done that or any other standard way of multiplying. All right, so that's it for today's lesson. Again, these are 2-step problems, and in your mind, you're always thinking, are my numbers getting, are they evenly being shared? If they are, that's dividing, or am I making more of them? Then that's multiplying. And thinking through the problem like a story can really help with that. I hope you found this helpful. Get some practice in today. Don't get frustrated if it takes time. Word problems can be very challenging, but there's something that we're going to really work through for the rest of our lives in math classes. So no worries. Just work your way through it like a story, get some feedback from others, and keep practicing. I'll see you in the next lesson, Math Marvels. Be well. Bye.